Hi, Arshit.
Yeah. Hey, Pareen. Yeah, thank
How
you
are
for
you, man?
being here again. So I'll just brief you. I just gave you. It's going to be a very small Q&A session about what you think about the Web3 space and your experience being here, and what you're building, and you could also actually talk about Builders Tribe. And the most important part, because I've seen you inspiring a lot of young minds with your Twitter feed, so we'll talk about that for sure.
Awesome, man. Definitely. Thank you for all the kind words.
Yeah.
I think we've just started, and there is a lot more work to be done
True, true, true.
as of now. And happy to be able to share whatever I've learned in my journey.
100%, 100%. So I'll just give you a small brief about me so that you understand what I'm doing as well. So I'm actually a community manager working with Feature.io, Huxley Saga, and a few other NFT projects. So currently, building this IP marketplace wherein Bored Apes and Wow can license their PFPs without selling them, but make passive income from it. So marketplace build कर रहे हैं और मेरा experience ना पूरा community background से है. So yeah, that
Mhm.
is about me.
That's awesome,
So
man.
yeah, yeah. ये था हमारा informal. So I'll just start off with the formal one then. Yeah. So let's go. So hey everybody, now welcome to the podcast again. So what we keep doing is we bring some bright minds in the industry and we talk to them about the Web3 space to learn about it and see what the future has for us. Because like Nawal Ravikant says, right, we have to play long-term games with long-term people and we are all in for it. So right now we have Pareen Lathia, and I would definitely want to give an introduction for him, but let's have him do it by himself. And it's an honor to have you here, Pareen.
Hey, Harshit. Thank you for having me here, man. I don't know. It's very hard. The introduction part is the hardest generally because it's very difficult to say, what's been going on. For me, just to give you some brief, I've been in startups for about 10, 11 years now, and seen the Web2 cycle, built a couple of SaaS products, did some web designing, SaaS apps for a while, ran a services company before I really got disillusioned with the Web2 ecosystem and realized that this was too gated for anyone to get. Essentially, what we thought is let's visualize how a Web3 native incubator looks like, because the typical YC model demo day cohort really doesn't work out here,
Okay.
and that's the biggest differentiation that we wanted to bring here.
Mhm.
Uh, in my Web2 journey, I've been to more than I think 6 incubators, and realized that okay, this is something that I know how to run and how it operates. Essentially, since last year, we've been running Builders Tribe. We've seen more than 1,000 applications. We are working with 12 startups as of now.
Correct, correct.
We have 150 people in Builders Tribe. These are angel investors, VCs, functional experts, advisors who come in and help a particular founder out together. So
Correct.
what we do is we just go to a founder and say, hey, what are your top 3 problems right now? Uh, Based on that, we connect them to the relevant people who will go one-on-one work with the founder and help them out in whatever capacity they can.
100%, 100%. So I think wish.eth is also a part of it, right?
Yes.
Got it, got it. So actually, my first podcast was with wish.eth, and he was actually talking about how he got into the entire Bored Apes and Sino Global, and he was he was walking through his entire journey, and it's and then one very important thing that he was pointing out was that the talent in India, right? The talent in India, so it has actually kind of become a little difficult for people to connect with the VCs. Is it so, or has money become cheaper? I mean, putting the market conditions that we are right now aside. So how do you think that plays out when there are founders who want to, raise capital? And I have actually a follow-up question, but you can answer this one. What do you think?
See, I don't think investors are unreachable. Investors in Web3 are pretty accessible.
Got it.
Generally, the only thing is that they see so many deals every day that it's very, very difficult for them to even figure out, what's going on here, to take a call or to take a decent judgment. Our job actually is to filter these startups and send only the ones who are ready to these investors.
Makes
So
sense.
that basically makes us some kind of a funnel for all these investors. Also, as a founder, reaching out to investors is not difficult. You
Right.
can DM them on Twitter, you can contact them on Telegram, you can literally go and do whatever today. I would say don't hesitate. Just
Correct.
go out there. Don't annoy them. Don't be overbearing. But to get feedback is very easy today for someone who's actually putting in effort. See, the problem arises when the founder is not putting in enough effort
Got
and
it. Got
then
it.
expects the investor to just do all the work or give enough advice or connect them to other investors. That is where the actual gap lies.
Got it. Got it. Got it. So I think you have it in the word itself, right? Builders tribe. मतलब जो build कर रहा है, right? A tribe of people who are building something. I think that is really profound itself. So that actually great. So what kind of people do you come across? So are founders a lot into NFTs, or are they building different kinds of protocols to solve issues and increase the efficiency in the Web3 scale, in the Web3 space, and scalability? So what kind of founders do you guys come across?
See, essentially at Builders Tribe, we only work with Web3 founders, but we are fairly agnostic when it comes to what sectors we are working with. It doesn't matter. We got a ton of NFT marketplaces and they don't work, that I can easily say. There is no doubt about that. But essentially speaking, we don't care what they are building. Generally speaking, if you look at the data out there, every founder changes their play at least multiple times. If you start with an idea saying, I want to build this, let's say I want to build a DeFi product, it's going to change. It may stay in DeFi as a sector, but the idea that you started out with is never going to be the idea that actually gets traction. Midway, you will have to change stuff because the market is so fast moving. Also, when you start, you haven't talked to enough users to understand what they need, right? So what I would say is, instead of thinking what's hot, what's going on,
correct.
Build whatever you feel is worth building, but go talk to the users as fast as possible. Go talk to the investors as fast as possible and take their feedback seriously. It's a learning process. It's not like you build something and then you get funded and then you achieve market. It's not that linear here.
Correct. So the entire cycle of connecting with people and one thing that I have noticed is that there is a diaspora of Indian talent moving to Dubai and Singapore. Like, do you agree with that analogy? Because that's what I've seen, right? Even WazirX, like where you worked at, has also shifted the base to Dubai, and Polygon shifting its base to Dubai. So, so what are your thoughts on India as a nation not favoring, not being as crypto native as it should be, because we already missed out on the service sector, on the on the 2000s, where after that we became a very service sector economy. So because as a nation, we have great amount of talent, right? We have engineers, and this actually works. Matlab, we have that thing, right? जो भी है engineer बन रहा है, but that actually is kind of working in our favor because we have such great talent pool. So what happens? So what do you think happens? So will engineers build for the country, or move out and build for the world?
See, this is one very very interesting thing that I have a very different take on. It doesn't matter where you live anymore. Just doesn't matter where you live in.
Perfect.
Balaji says this very very interesting thing where he says, in the future, people are going to physically be located in one place, have their companies incorporated in some other place. They're going to have employees from some other place. They're going to have users from some other place. It just doesn't matter anymore. The way we are thinking about India, it is mostly an identity today. So it doesn't matter where someone is living. You can get an Indian out of India. You can't get India out of an Indian. It's just become this fluid. And specifically with Web2, we've seen that they would be like, hey, Amazon of India is Flipkart. There is no such thing in Web3. Either you are Amazon of the world or you are not at all.
Correct.
So there will be no Polygon of India. There will be Polygon of the world.
Correct.
Polygon is Polygon of the world.
Correct.
There will be no Ethereum of India. Ethereum is Ethereum of the world. There will be no OpenSea of India. We see a lot of people who will be like, yeah, I'm building OpenSea of India. Not really. OpenSea is OpenSea. You can't do anything. Yeah, you can innovate. You can out innovate them. But don't say that just because you are targeting Indian audience that you have a special place. Web3 is beyond these things. It's global. It's not country centric. So what do you do in this market? Wherever you live, whatever you do, keep building and keep building it for the world. It doesn't matter if you're living in Africa, doesn't matter if you're living in the North Pole. Build for the world, or you will be killed by someone who is building for the world.
Correct. I think so. What you're saying actually brings me back to the entire evolution, right? So Darwin's theory of evolution. It's basically, right, this is the evolution of the internet, and this is like natural selection amplified, right? So this is the crux of natural selection of the best survive. That's all. That's how the Web3 space is, and it's just funny to imagine how it happens, right? Taking all the meetings on Zoom and connecting with different people, and that is really something that I am personally looking forward to. How because there's going to be a massive shuffle of talent, right? Massive shuffle of talent, and this is one thing that I had in my mind. So coming again, so would you be able to share some pointers from the WazirX days and being an AVP? So any pointers that you have in your mind about how it started off? What was the vision? And yeah.
I think, essentially everything starts with a personal motivation. Every great business at least starts with a personal motivation. A lot of people keep asking, what should I build? What is hot right now? Is DeFi hot, or Metaverse hot, or NFT hot, or DAOs hot, or whatever? If you go by this, I have not seen a single really, really successful company built with this mindset. If you want to really, really build something, start with what is inside you. What problem do you absolutely care for? Do you really, really care for your users? If you do, you won't care whether it is bull or bear. You will care whether your user is happy or not. And that is actually what pushes a founder towards success. There's nothing else to be done here. The reason why WazirX succeeded to a level where it went was because Nischal was at it. It did not matter whether RBI policies were adverse. It did not matter if there were no takers in the market, no investors in the market, X, Y, Z, nothing. What mattered is that he believed there should be an easy way to get into crypto. That's all.
Correct.
And he kept doing it. He kept doing it. He kept doing it. Same is the case with every good founder that I've seen today. You will see that their personal motivations align very well with whatever they are doing.
Correct. Understood. So basically, again, I'd like to bring that point up again because it's a very interesting and a very important point that you shared, right? It doesn't really matter if it's a bull or a bear. Builders just build, right? This is just the main
definitely, 100%.
True. So what about the noise that happens, right? There's a lot of, because the market has, definitely come down, and we know we see the metrics, right? So, situation like this, there's a lot of noise around. Matlab, again, let's say Jack Dorsey tweeting about Web 5 or things like that. So there's a lot of noise around. So, what's your take on builders being, aligned just to one goal in this noise? Because there are 100 different things coming around, and most people say that the tech behind it, all the noise. So that's what I'm basically specifying. Yeah. How do
I would say, yeah. I mean, I would say, forget about all of that. Focus on what you want to do, which is your users' problems. Essentially speaking, what I see in the market today is best of products don't care what's going on out there. And this may be funded, non-funded, less funded, overfunded. It doesn't matter. Specifically about one point that you mentioned, Web 5 is a real innovation. I definitely believe it's not noise. The naming might be very funny, but
Correct.
What they are doing is a significant leap of faith. And it's an experiment. Of course, there are chances that it fails, but I think the value system that Web 5 imbibes is really, really great. So, yeah, man, I mean, what we are here to do is fund experiments. And some of these experiments will become the iPhones of tomorrow. Right? It was just an experiment someday.
True. Actually, like that mindset that we have to carry in, when we have to constantly innovate in the space, and it's all about experimenting, right? And one clicks and the other doesn't, but you're still constantly at it.
It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. The problem is that we just make sure that we fund things only when they are bound to succeed. That's not true.
Got it.
How to fund experiments is one of the biggest things that determines how far a country progresses in terms of innovations. If there is no funding for experiments, there is no progress. Funding for innovations by default means that there will be a high failure rate.
Makes sense.
Right? We know, like if I see startups and I say fail, 100 out of 99 times I will be right. But then that one person who is building something significant, how will they get the motivation? They just won't have the motivation to build it. Right? So we should be encouraging everyone who's building. We should be encouraging everyone who's taking risk. We should be encouraging everyone who's putting in their life's work, right? Someone working on a particular project for a couple of years is not a joke. They could be working in some shit like Infosys and making some very mediocre salary. But they chose not to. Exactly. That's a feat in itself. If they fail, still kudos to them.
Makes sense. All right. So so what about the young folks, right? Because one question that I've been listening to a lot of Kunal's podcasts, and Kunal points out that young folks are actually missing out when they are sitting at home and just on their laptop, because you miss out on the osmosis that happens when you are around smarter people, right? So that I actually, thought about that a lot. So I personally thought I'd move to Bangalore. So currently I'm in Hyderabad. So I personally thought I'd move to on Bangalore. So I'll be moving to Bangalore in another 4 days on the 20th. So I chose this place called Draper Startup House. So there are all other, bunch of entrepreneurs. And even before going there, I met a lot of, Web3 guys there itself. So that I thought was very interesting. So do you think it's necessary for, to be placed in the right environment? Because, if we bring back Nawal's pointers, right? Nawal bolta hai ki location bhi bahut important hai, right? The kind of network, because that has a ripple effect and it compounds drastically. So what are your thoughts on that?
I do think that environment is important. This goes against the remote work philosophy of Web3.
Correct.
But I definitely do think environment is important. Some of the incubators actually that I've been to way back in like 2012, they actually got 10 to 20 founders in one room.
Wow.
And that energy was something else. That energy is something else, because I could go walk to someone and ask, say, "Bhai, AWS server में ये नहीं हो रहा, कैसे करूँ इसको?" Immediately, and you could see other people struggling with other things, and you could see other people really, maybe working till 2 in the night to just make sure that something in the product is working. This energy is absolutely contagious. And I would say Bangalore is hyped. Bangalore.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a difference if you just go to a pub and you're drinking. Doesn't matter if you are sitting in a cafe and just networking, whatever the fuck that means, or meet up, or whatever that means as well. Yes, but if you find those 10 brilliant founders who are at their work, heads down and working all day, you found an amazing group of people to grow with. Because someone will be good at community, someone will be good at podcasting, someone will be good at Python, someone will be good at React, someone will be good at Twitter. You never know. And that learning is insane, because at some level you know that all of you are struggling, right? And you can empathize. Whereas when I was in an incubator, all of my normal friends were like, "Kya bhai, it's Friday, 9 o'clock. Why do you want to work some more? Chal yaar, daru peete." And that is good as well. No doubt you should take break and you should have a life and you should do all that shit. But if I want to work today, I need a bunch of people who would be like, "Okay, I see that you are working towards something significant. And sacrificing a little bit here and there is not a problem. Nothing is built without hard work." Like our thesis at BUIDLers Tribe is a decent project or a startup takes 4 to 5 years. It's very hard to do anything without that. So we look for a founder who is going to be at it for 5 years at least.
Makes sense. Got it. And even after 4 to 5 years, you don't know if that's going to succeed or not. And that's still a thing, right?
Insane, right? Yeah, I mean, builders have got to be the most crazy kind of people in this world. Yes, practically they are stupid, delusional people, very stupid, delusional people. But those are the ones who end up changing a lot in the world. And then when it happens, people will be like, "Oh, look at this," like I used to work out of one of the incubators that I went to, gave us office space in Paytm's office. This was back in 2014. Okay, so 2014 Paytm was very different from Paytm that you see right now. And we saw like Vijay Shekhar Sharma at the coffee table, and we saw some of the top executives go from here and there and roam around. Those people are now seen as stalwarts. but the amount of struggle that they've been through is not really understood very well by common janta. Except founders, it's very hard to understand what hell they've been through to pull something off like this.
Correct, correct, correct. Correct. So I think, a celebration of just the raising of funds, other than actually celebrating the hard work that the founder put in for years, where he could have just taken a job in Infosys and some does just did a mediocre job, but he chose not to do that, and I think that itself takes a lot of courage, of course. So this I think this is amazing, Parin. So but why Builders Tech? कुछ और क्यों नहीं? So why are you building Builders Tech? So blunt question.
Hardly anyone has asked us these questions, man. Good, amazing set of questions you are asking. I don't think most of our investors have even asked us this question. But I'm glad that you are asking this. It is because I never got a chance. I tried really hard in Web2, and I really could see that the gates were closed for some reason. And I had mentors who really helped me out in some way. I had people who offered me some funds and stuff, but it was not very fair.
Correct.
It was not a very fair market. They would be like, hey, see, you're not a techie. Yeah, you built a product. I had a product which was revenue generating, right? And you have that, but I don't know if you are going to make it, because not techie, no IITian co-founder, no big daddy VC to vouch for you. So why should I do this? And I realized that the only reason that they should have funded me, till date, there are people who are spending crores of rupees on the product that I had built way back in 2013-14, right? And a lot of people said, LinkedIn can make this, so you will be killed. LinkedIn made a copy of a product and did not work. So all of these things, when I see like, what could have made me go on for a few years longer? What could have really made me say, okay, I know it's hard times, but let's continue. Let's not quit. Let's just go. It would have been someone who just came and said, don't worry, I believe in you. That's all. And that's why Builders Type does that mostly. Many of our founders are most of the founders are extremely smart people. They know their shit much better than what we do. What we are doing there is mostly telling them, hey, I believe in you. Don't worry. Go, do some more. And we try and help them out as much as we can, in whatever capacity we can. When we started, we did not have 50 funds working with us. We did not have the top VCs talking to us. We did not have all the chains working with us. Very little exposure. But in last 9 months or so, now we can actually get any founder to any fund, literally, in this space. And we can get open doors to chains, to grants, to partnerships, to absolutely anything that they want to. We can get them the best mentors for tokenomics. We can get them the best mentors for go-to-market, product, tech, anything that they literally want. And they're just out of sheer will to help these people out in whatever way we can. Many a times founders came to us and said, hey, I need this person to do my tokenomics. And we did not have them on board. Said, okay, no problem. Give me 15 days. I'll get this guy. And we got them. So we believe in perseverance. We also have to persevere. And it comes back to what we discussed earlier. It's personal motivation. For us, Raghu has been helping, my co-founder has been helping dev communities since about a decade now. He definitely has given so many opportunities to developers that it's not even funny. He's been instrumental in giving out more than, I think, $3-4 million worth of money in developers' hands. what is he doing? He's just funding experiments. Many of these experiments die. It's okay, but encouraging coders to say, "Hey, go experiment. Don't become Infosys junkies." That itself is our motivation here, and as long as we can keep doing that, it works.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. So, I think this, the entire thing that you were sharing, this definitely motivated me as well, right? And when this comes out, the entire thing about, founders and you have to constantly be at it, it it has that much of insights that, motivates the founder. There is, okay, you have an idea, and when when you want to raise funds and you want to talk to mentors and you don't know where to reach, where to go, you come to BUIDLers Tribe, and we connect you guys with the right people, and then you're on, right? You do your thing, we'll help you out, by doing our thing, and let's do it together. So that is great, right? And could you tell me about, non-tech founders? कि non-tech founders का क्या होता है? Because let's say I'm being fully honest, okay, Farid? I am a non-tech guy as well, and I ran a call center previously and things like that, and then moved into the Web3 space and stuff. So what about
Wow.
non-tech founders?
Yeah, I'm a non-tech founder, man. I have done, I think, 5-6 business till now in my life. Always been at it because I could not work in a corporate kind of an environment. I
Correct,
still
correct,
cannot.
correct, correct.
And I always, I think I got too much motivated by movies like Social Network and stuff. I think they affected me in a very negative way, pushed my life in a very different direction. But I think, see, non-tech founders in Web2, God help you, because you need found techie to build something out. Techie needs money, money needs techie. It's all completely fucked up. But in Web3, you would be surprised marketers are in short supply.
Wow,
Suddenly,
wow.
people keep saying you don't find Solidity developers, you don't find Rust developers, you don't find this, you don't find that. Uh, you would see that marketers are in shorter supply. I have messages in my inbox this week from 3 founders of large projects worth hundreds of millions of dollars saying, please marketer dila do yaar.
Say it, correct.
We've been hunting for someone for community operations for, I think, more than 4 months now. Just not able to find the right guy.
Got it,
It's
got it.
insane. I would say, as a non-tech founder in crypto is amazing. It's brilliant. It's the life of a king, where you will rule because no one else will understand anything. They
Correct,
don't
correct.
even know how to name their projects.
Ha.
That's like basics that you learn in business school or even undergraduate BBA and stuff. It's very well defined knowledge since hundreds of years how to name something.
Correct, correct, correct.
Look at the names of the projects, right, in crypto. They're terrible. Absolutely terrible. That is why they have to go through rebranding and stuff, because the founders are absolute nerds who don't understand anything about business, which is good. The scarcity of non-tech people in Web3 is
Correct, correct.
insane. Of course, they will make you feel like, oh shit, you can't code, so you are
Correct.
worthless and all that.
Exactly,
So no
exactly.
problem. I'm sitting here in my corner. Uh, Call me when you need me. When you really need to go and sell this sexy product that you've designed, who will sell it?
Perfect, perfect, perfect.
They can't. They just can't. Best of the products that we've seen today,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the biggest thing that I regret is if we could train some marketers and put them in these projects, those would be kick-ass people, uh, and the projects would benefit immensely because tech-wise they are
Correct,
amazing.
correct,
They are
correct.
doing really well, but who understands the business side of things? Hardly anyone does.
Got it, got it, got it. So, Parin Bhai, can I call you Parin Bhaiya? Is that okay?
Arey, please,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
How better? I don't like sir and all, man. Like
yeah,
this,
that's what,
this
and
SER
falls into
sir also
Web3, right?
is just crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Parinta, ek baat hai, see, now, you pointed out about the non-tech people, right? See, think it's very important to understand, right? Ki, there is value for non-tech people and tech people combined, because this is like this is like synergy, wherein a non-tech person, he does what he does and codes it, and he knows that language. But sometimes the other people, see, for like, for example, my natural inclination lies towards talking to people and being in the community, being on Discord. It was a very funny story of becoming of a community manager even, right? So even if I tell my parents, उनको लगता है कि मैं कुछ WhatsApp ग्रुप का एडमिन हूँ, right? So that happens.
Yeah.
So ऐसा होता है, right? And that itself is a skill, right? That itself is also a skill and very important in this
Major
thing.
skill. Major skill. Definitely major skill. See, what I would say is, uh, the world is changing at a very, very rapid pace
So,
in ways that we can't imagine, right? Forget about our parents understanding what's happening here,
correct,
right?
correct.
Parents understanding why this monkey picture costs so much is not going to be possible, right? So
True.
my dad still doesn't understand. Uh, he still feels that, I don't know, this guy doesn't have any money, because he will look at the bank statement and he will be like, oh, do you need some money? I will send you some money. And I will like, I don't know what you feel, but
True.
there is money here. So, this is some wallet. So he's like,
Yeah, and then you'll be
yeah,
like,
but
पापा
how
मेरा इधर
how
स्कैन
do
देखो.
हाँ नहीं वो इधर स्कैन भी नहीं, but they would be like, yeah, but where is the real money?
Correct,
Where is
correct.
the real money?
True,
So
true.
even after being in the industry for 4 or 5 years, trading, working, getting salary,
Mhm.
getting funding, all of these things, they don't understand.
Correct.
So the way I approach this is I tell them, hey, see, uh, the world is changing in ways that you can't imagine right now. I will spend a couple of hours making you understand very nicely. And it's great even if you don't understand. What you got to do is trust. Okay? Trust me. Don't worry. And as long as you are okay, not degen gambling and losing all your money, you should be okay. So
Correct.
it doesn't matter what you're doing, right? It just doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter what people understand. Crypto used to be called a scam in 2018-19, right? So anytime you go and tell "Okay, I'm doing crypto, they will have a scammer aa gaya hai,"
Correct. Correct.
So uh, there is no way to change. See, we are in a frontier industry. Frontier industry basically means we are doing stuff that has never been done before.
Correct.
There is going to be casualties, there is going to be scammers, there is going to be people who do shady stuff, and there is going to be people who will lose their entire livelihoods in this as well, and that will make news.
Correct.
So all you can say is trust me, don't worry. And if you don't trust me, still no problem, I will keep doing my thing. See, crypto, that is why it attracts a little rebellious kind of people, Akshay BD keeps calling it buckchods, but it's
Yeah.
basically rebellious people,
Yeah.
people who anyway don't respect systems too much. They know the systems are rigged against you. Most
Correct.
people, when you analyze their core personality types in Web3, you will see that the lowest common denominator in these personality types is that some system has fucked them completely. Right? It could be banking, it could be education, their own college, it could be their own families, it could be their own friends, it could be some insurance company, it could be
Right.
Uber, Ola, fuck them completely. It doesn't matter. But that is why we believe in decentralization, right? We don't want power in the hands of few people, and that's why we are working here. Uh,
Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
but this more rebel you are, the less you will care about what anyone thinks.
Oh my God.
Because if you care about what anyone thinks, then that's another trap.
I think आप जो बोल रहे थे ना, मुझे actually goosebumps आ गया, right? So this, I mean, I did watch, a lot of Tanmay's and Akshay's videos, but yeah, Bakchot thing, but this is true, Parin bhai, because I've been thinking, that I was wrong. And when I first got introduced to the book Rich Dad Poor Dad in 10th grade, because I just wanted to make some money because my family was going through a financial crisis, and that's what I learned. Oh, aisa hota hai, aisa hota hai. So I've been learning everything wrong, and that's when the rebellious nature started, and when like medical emergencies happened, and the hospitals weren't functioning properly. There were so many inefficiencies with insurance companies, and when I had to study abroad, when I just transferred, we just took a loan and we transferred to the college, and it took around 1 month to do so, just because they tagged it as money laundering because they didn't know the source of funds. And I think all these things, they just, okay, मुझे अभी strike हो रहा है, right? मुझे अभी strike हो रहा है कि आप exactly क्या बोल रहे हो. Perfect,
Yeah,
perfect,
I
perfect.
mean, see, at the end, it's all about people. Tech is one thing, but uh, tech का क्या करोगे अगर वो useful ही नहीं है तो? It's not going to help anyone. What I look at as a non-techie. See, I used to believe for the longest time that I have a big disadvantage of uh, being not being a techie who can't code. See, I can understand tech. It's not like I don't
सही बात.
understand कि L1
Correct, correct.
L2 में क्या चल रहा है. I'm not
Yeah,
like an unpad, but I can't sit and code like some shadowy super coder and be like, wow, देखो मेरा app ready हो गया. That I
correct,
can't do. Like
correct.
I can code, but probably takes me months to do what a dev can do in a few days, right? So uh, I used to think that this is a big disadvantage, and last, I think, 2 years or so since I've been so active in the industry, I've realized that this is a big advantage because no one can think about people here. Absolutely no one can think about people here. If you don't understand tech, what do you understand? People.
Correct,
So
correct.
you could be someone who is designing the mechanics of the car inside a lab, or you could be the person who is in the showroom, who are technically called salespeople, which is a very bad word to use. But those are the people who are actually realizing that this engine is amazingly powerful, but these people care about the comfort of the seat more than your engine's HP, BHP, whatever that might be, right? So those are the people who are actually driving everything out there. There's a common misconception in India, management or business community, if you talk to IM guys and all that, they will say, marketing का मतलब क्या होता है? You sell something, you have the product, you decide the price, placement, promotion, XYZ, and sell something. That's not true. That's from 80s in US. Uh, After that, in 30 years, things changed
Correct.
completely, and that's never taught in India even till date. I don't think most colleges teach this. So they think that marketing is selling, promotions, shouting, being loud out there. But actually, marketing starts from users' feedback.
Wow.
You go and you talk to the user first and say, "Bhai, tujhe chahiye kya? Do you need a DAO tool or do you need an NFT marketplace?" And the user will say, "No, I don't need an NFT marketplace." So stop making 2000 NFT marketplaces out there. If more people did that, then there won't be 2000 amazing coders working on NFT marketplaces, because people don't need that shit. They have OpenSea already, right? Don't need that. And that's the most misunderstood part of marketing out there. That marketing is first listening to your users. When you listen to your users, then you design the product accordingly, then you go out and sell it.
Perfect, perfect, perfect.
So these are some of the advantages of being a non-techie, that you read stuff that these guys just can't. As non-techies, someday, spending enough time, you can understand the code very easily. It may take some more time. It may take some time to understand the architecture, the protocol, the systems, the tokenomics, and all that shit. but you can do it. It's not that difficult.
Correct.
But it's not true the other way around. It's absolutely not true the other way around. And the more uh, deep tech hard nerds that I meet, the more I realize that this is true, that they can't understand people at all.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I think, Vish actually bought in, from his background of, philosophy and psychology. He was telling me that, no matter how much technology progresses, in the end, we're all social animals, right? We are still making these mechanics just to interact better with human beings.
Exactly. Exactly. The tools change, but the purpose remains the same. The behavior remains the same. Everything remains the same. It's just getting more efficient. See, if we were sitting in a room and doing this, the conversation would not change at all,
Correct, 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 correct.
right? It would not change at all. Maybe, we would feel a little more warmth towards each other. Technology takes that warmth out. But uh, we're just doing this in a little more efficient way. When we do this in the metaverse 5 years later, it'll still be the same thing.
100%, 100%, 100%. Yeah. So I think it was actually a great conversation, and I think you have a schedule as well. So I have the last question. Last one thing. So what is your best piece of advice to a 20-year-old in the space? And the second one, are you looking for any community managers in for builders tribe? Yeah, these were two of mine. Yeah.
First, let me answer the second question, man. We are looking for community managers for sure. If you care about startups, if you care about developers, if you care about how to help startups,
Correct.
do apply to Builders Tribe. DM me directly wherever, LinkedIn, Twitter, it doesn't matter. We will get on a call and we will do this. When we say community managers, it is not Discord monkeys. It
Correct.
is someone who really cares about startups and goes out of their way to help these founders out in any way possible. One of that is Discord. Yes, definitely. Uh, that's the answer to that question. The first question, I forgot the first
Best piece of advice for 20-year-old.
Oh, best piece of advice for 20-year-old.
अभी अभी
I
निकला
don't
है.
know, man.
अभी अभी Web3 में निकला है. So what is your thing?
Yeah, first is teach me stuff. I want to learn from all of you guys are super smart, way smarter than what I am today. I genuinely believe that. Second thing that I would say is uh, there is a big difference. One of the difference between, I would say it's a different generation completely, maybe 2 generations away. Uh, our generation, we were taught that, first you got to slog and then you get the reward. This generation is told कि reward नहीं मिलेगा ना तो कुछ मत करो, रिवॉर्ड मिलेगा तो भी कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं है, कभी ऐसे भी रिवॉर्ड मिल जाता है. इफ इफ यू बॉट BAYC एट द राइट टाइम देन रिवॉर्ड फ्री में मिला ना. आई माय पीस ऑफ एडवाइस इज कि कुछ भी फ्री में नहीं मिलता. सस्टेनेबल स्टफ दैट यू गेट, whether it's Ethereum, Dogecoin, apes, NFTs, job, life, boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever you may get, sustainable cheese, valuable cheese without proof of work के कभी नहीं मिलती. And that's something that I have seen, that a lot of people, probably I don't know what has changed in the culture there, but this has not been put in their mind. Okay, by life is a struggle. It is a struggle. What you get to decide is what you direct that struggle towards. So if I decide that my struggle is towards, let's say, making cars, I will not enjoy it because I just don't like making cars. What I did was I just said, hey, I like working with startups. Okay, let me struggle but work with startups. So it doesn't feel like struggle anymore at all, but it is a struggle. Everything is a struggle because every time things get harder and harder. So what I would say is just work, and the rewards would come eventually whenever they have to come. And I also believe that people think about winning too much, right? I failed like
Correct.
maybe hundreds of times in my mind, and by society standards, maybe 20, 30 times in various areas of my life. I will still keep failing. But if you have, let's say, 50 years of your life, uh, you can fail as many times as you want. You just have to succeed once.
Correct.
That could be when you are 60, it doesn't matter. Just have to succeed once. So why worry about what you are getting, how you are getting? It's a very uh, old philosophical take, but yeah, that's how I think about things, specific to crypto, because a lot of these people are going to be in crypto.
Correct.
I've been saying this on every WazirX
Yeah.
webinar कि
Yeah.
bear market आएगा
Yeah.
now finally bear market आ गया है. So it's worth noting that first cycle that you are working full time in crypto, not like थोड़ा ईथर खरीद लिया, थोड़ा बिटकॉइन खरीद लिया और रख दिया, नहीं. But first cycle, which is a 4-year cycle, is for learning. No one makes money in their first cycle.
Okay.
I've never seen anyone make money in their first cycle. Second cycle, definitely, if you've learned enough, you do make money. So don't put in more money than you can afford to lose.
Correct.
This is very, very difficult. क्योंकि FOMO में आके, even today I do that sometimes. Like I like, यार ये coin बहुत सही लग रहा है रे, थोड़ा खरीद लेता हूँ मैं इसको, या ये PFP खरीद लेता हूँ and stuff. It becomes very bad. You will go into some kind of a negative spiral that you don't want to go to. So पैसे कमाने हैं तो जॉब कर लो, फ्रीलांसिंग कर लो, बाउंटीज कर लो, 100 other things कर लो और कर लो. But don't necessarily be bound by the fact that you want to or have to make wealth. Friends don't compare their wealth at all. Everyone is different, and most people end up losing their. धीरे धीरे पैसा बन जाएगा. If I were a 20-year-old today, I would be like, ये पार्टी बाद में देखेंगे, पैसा बनाएंगे, क्या जल्दी है, and that is sustainable. Or I've seen a lot of people make $1 million in the bull market. Right now, you can't believe the amount of people that I met last year in my DMs right now who are looking for new jobs. It's insane. It's insane. People who made $1 million last year are now looking for a job. How? And this is just the start of the bear market. So, बाद में क्या होगा वो तो पता ही नहीं है भाई.
Yeah. Definitely, Parin. And it was, definitely was great. It was a great conversation with you. And, I'll be uploading this very soon and also be, sharing on Twitter. Or, एक request है, आप मुझे थोड़ा Twitter पे follow कर दो.
अरे हाँ भाई, मेरे को आइडिया ही नहीं है.
And yeah, Parin, and I'd definitely love to apply for the community management job as well. So is there a link that I could?
भाई आ जाओ यार, क्या कर रहे हो अभी? अरे लिंक छोड़ो, रिकॉर्डिंग बंद कर दो, अभी बात कर लेते हैं.
Okay. हाँ, 1 minute.